All right, Algebra 2. So we are going to be doing sample problem number 3 as the example, and then you can do practice problems 3, A, B, C, D, and E, hopefully, for your assignment. So I have them written here. We're going to be finding the intersections of these two circles. Just as a little reminder, remember with two circles, remember we can have intersections. It can look like a Venn diagram. So we can intersect twice. We could intersect 0 times. We could intersect once. Okay, so those are our options. And it doesn't have to look exactly like that, but those are our options there. Okay, so I've labeled them just, this is equation 1, this is equation 2, okay? And I also just want to label my steps, so I'm going to do that as well. So my first step is I want to multiply out my first equation. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to want to be doubling the squash on both of these PSTs. So x squared, square the first, double the squash. So x times -4 is -4x times 2. That middle term would be -8x, and then plus 16. So that is x minus 4 quantity squared, okay? So then plus y squared plus 2y, sorry, plus 1, and then that is equal to 20. Now, if the whole doubling the squash thing is still confusing to you, go ahead and just take x minus 4 times x minus 4, multiply it out, do the extra step. It's really okay. Okay, now before I move on to the second step, what I'm going to do is I am going to simplify this a little bit. I am going to combine some like terms here. So I have x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 2y plus 17 equals 20. Now I'm going to take the constant term and put it on the right side of the equation. So I have x squared minus 8x plus y squared plus 2y equals 3. So put a pin in that equation. I want to come back to that. So that was my first step. Now you're going to do that exact same thing with the second equation. So maybe you try this one out. Pause me, try it out. So x squared minus 14x plus 49 plus y squared minus 16y plus 64 equals 50. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I have x squared minus 14x plus y squared minus 16y. 49 plus 64 is 113 equals 50. I'm going to do the same exact thing. Subtract 113 from both sides. So now I have x squared minus 14x plus y squared minus 16y equals negative 63. Star that equation. Now, these two equations that we just starred are what we're going to combine. Okay? Oops, no, didn't want to do that. So I need more space, so I'm going to erase. So I'm going to start with my two starred equations. So I had x squared, so this would be step 3. I had x squared minus 14x plus y squared minus 16y equals negative 63. And then I had x squared plus 8 minus 8x, minus 8x plus y squared minus 2y plus 2y, my bad, plus 2y equals 3. Now, what we're going to do, because our goal here is to get rid of the x squared and the y squared. So we're going to subtract the second one from the first one. So we're going to subtract every term from the term above it. So when we subtract a negative 8x from a negative 14x, we have negative 14x minus negative 8x. So we get negative 14x plus 8x, which would be negative 6x. So see what happens? We have x squared minus x squared, y squared minus y squared. That's exactly what we want to happen. Negative 16y minus 2y, that's negative 18y. That's perfect. We're okay with that. Negative 63 minus 3, that would be negative 66. Now, step 4. We need to isolate x or y. So this is a decision you have to make. Should we isolate the x or should we isolate the y? This should be a pretty easy decision for you. In this case, I'm going to choose to isolate the x because I don't want to work with fractions. Now, it would work either way, but I know how much you guys hate fractions. So I have x equals negative 3y plus 11. So hang on to that equation because we're going to need it. And I'm actually going to write it in red up here. So I have x equals negative 3y plus 11. Plus 11. Okay. I write too big, so I got to erase again. Now, here's what we do with that. We have to plug this into one of our original equations. I usually pick the one with smaller numbers, so I'm going to pick equation 1. So since it's equal to x, I'm going to plug it into x. So negative 3y, this would be I'm on step 5. Negative 3y plus 11 minus 4 squared plus y plus 1 quantity squared equals 20. So this would be negative 3y plus 7 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 20. Okay, now go through it again. Double the squash. This would be 9y squared. Doubling the squash, squashing it together would give me negative 21y. Doubling it would give me negative 42y plus 49 plus y squared plus 2y plus 1 equals 20. Now let's combine some like terms. I have 9y squared and y squared. I've got negative 42y and 2y, and then I have 49 and 1. So I've got 10y squared minus 40y plus 50 equals 20. This is a quadratic. Got to get it into standard form. So I've got 10y squared minus 40y plus 30 equals 0. I hope you guys all see that we can divide this whole thing by a 10. So I've got y squared minus 4 plus 4y, plus 3 equals 0. So now I'm looking for two factors that add to 3, or that multiply to 3, but add to negative 4. And I hope you guys are all thinking negative 3 and negative 1, because this does indeed factor like y minus 1 times y minus 3 equals 0. So our two solutions are y equals 1 and y equals 3. So we've got our y values, y equals 1 and y equals 3. I'm going to erase one more time. Feel free to pause me if I'm going too fast, guys. So it's a big step 5. So finally we're on our last step, step 6. We have our y values. All we need are our x values now. Luckily, we already have an equation that isolated the x. So we need to just plug our y's in. So x equals negative 3 times 1 plus 11. So that would be negative 3 plus 11, which would be 8. But remember, your x is 8. It goes x comma y. So 8 comma 1. So let's do the same thing with 3. So negative 3 times 3 plus 11. So that'd be negative 9 plus 11, which would be 2. So x comma y, your x is 2, so 2 comma 3. So these circles do intersect twice at 2 comma 3 and at 8 comma 1. So hopefully this helps you do those other 5